Raider Nation. We're talking the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, to be exact. I have been a diehard Raider since I was a little lad. I've been there for the 02-03 Super Bowl, which was super depressing. I've stuck with the Raiders since Jamarcus Russell, Palmer, all that stuff. We have been bad for a very, very long time, but there has been glimpses of hope with Jack Del Rio taking over the team. Even Bisaccia, I know I butchered the name a little bit, taking over at one point and bringing this team together as a family last year. Even I would say there's some good things with John Gruden, but there's a lot of bad things that happened in that John's second stint of John Gruden's era with all these ridiculous picks that we did that were just wasted. Coming into this season, I think all us Raider Nations thought, you know what, this is it, man. This is like the team. This is what's gonna get us to the Super Bowl, or at least make a deep run to the playoffs. I want Super Bowls. I don't care about playoff. Like, if you're thinking playoffs is just good enough, we need Super Bowl wins. We need Super Bowl appearances. So having this roster on our team, I mean, hell, we should, right? There is the start of the season. We thought, us Raider fans thought, and everybody else thought, especially the media, this is the team to beat. The AFC West, blah, 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 all that shit. Okay. The Raiders, looking really, really bad. Losing to the Chargers didn't look very good. Cardinals game was the soul ripped out of every Raider fan. If we don't make it to the playoffs, you got to look at that game and say, like, that was the game that kind of just ended our season. This was a game potential ending season, but that was the game. That was the heartbreaking game where we did everything right that first half and just got our soul just ripped out. That just defeated us. And then you look at the Tennessee game, which I wasn't able to watch, but I went back to the highlights and, of course, was keeping up play-by-play. But the missed, once again, the missed opportunities of, Darren Waller not catching the ball, still not running the rock as effectively as we should. The line still struggling. I think the line, this particular game, wasn't awful. It wasn't awful. It wasn't like game one. But there was a lot of still key moments through the Raiders versus Broncos game where you would have the linebackers get through fairly easy and get to Carr. Now, Carr had to scramble a little bit more in this game. We're, of course, talking about this big win with the Raiders versus Broncos. But if you're any Raider fan, you know that we've been having the Broncos number for 3 years already, 5 years. Like, the Broncos are a good team to get that W on because it gives a little bit of confidence here. It's still always like a little bit of a battle, but we always get the win. I mean, last year wasn't too much of a battle because the Broncos were very good last year. This one, they're not very good this year, but of course, Russell Wilson still hitting big plays and the Raiders still giving up big plays. Now, there's always so many injuries going on with this Raiders team. Perryman just came back to this game, and then now he's back out. I don't know what the initial injury now with him is. The line has been banged up. Like I said, I think the line did better this game than the first game against the Chargers. We're moving a lot of pieces. We signed a couple different offensive linemen too. I think the confidence for the O-line is going to be very, very high coming into this KC game because of the fact that finally running the rock with Josh Jacobs. You could see it in every game that Josh Jacobs was just warming up. He was being that running back we knew he could be. It's not like a very fast like Zamir. I think Zamir White, hands down, is our speedster. I would like to use him a little bit more, but when Josh Jacobs is cooking, you keep feeding him the rock. He was making moves that was making the linemen look good, where it looked like Marcus Allen a little bit. He would bounce from right and cut to the left. He would just find ways to pound the rock, really hit those holes, and just, that's what she said, and really just gain those first downs. Josh Jacobs has been our moneymaker because he's been getting first downs. And what does that do for the defense? It gives them time. It gives them rest. That was the problem, of course, for the Arizona game in the second half. Like I said, I wasn't able to catch the Tennessee and and us playing Tennessee, but this has been the problem with the Raiders, the offense. The offense, you would think the offense would be fine with all these weapons, but it's not necessarily scoring a lot. It's necessarily letting your defense breathe. If you don't have your defense out there after a 3-and-out, you're going to be cherry, man. This defense has actually been doing really, really good, especially with the second half adjustments. I got to go watch this with my Raider buddy Steven, and we were watching the game, and I said, second half, that's where we're at. That's where that's our bread and butter for the defense, other than the Cardinals game. But how can you really blame the defense in the Cardinals game when literally there was one 3-and-out that only took like 20 seconds away from the clock, from the I think it was 20 or 30 seconds away. That was it. And then the defense had to go back in it. The defense was constantly in that game. This time around, though, it was more balanced because we were able to run the ball. Here is my problem. This is what the video is all about. This is why the title, the description, I still see problems with this Raiders team. They were able to muster more points, and the offense was able to be on the field more. But this is the Denver Broncos. This is the same Broncos team that had nothing going on with the 49er team with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, the Niners defense was good, but the offense was trash, yet Broncos offense still couldn't move the ball, even with a lot of these weapons. Javonte Williams, done for the year. He got injured pretty early, not early on, but he got injured, so we didn't have to deal with Javonte Williams, and we didn't even really deal with Melvin Gordon after he. And you got to remember, I think Amik Robertson did a hell of a job in this game. I thought he was one of the best players. He was really motivated, especially with the trash talk that Jerry Jeudy did, and that's what I want to see. I want to see fire from these guys, especially Max Crosby has been putting work every single game. I want the same fire for a lot of these guys, especially with these guys who we don't even know if Josh McDaniels and the crew are going to keep. We don't even know if they're going to keep Josh Jacobs. He could still put up numbers. Look at all the paid contracts we have already done. What we need help is the O-line. I think they're going to bank on Zamir White being something, but I mean, these players are fighting not only if they're to stay with the team, but to find another team and get their money. That's why Josh Jacobs is running so hard and being this like MVP caliber, not MVP, but overall really good, hard-nosed. I want to say top 10 yet because we haven't used him a lot, but he has potential top 10 running backs in the game if we keep feeding him and we keep putting performances like that. And another team's going to want to pay him big money because we opt out of this 5th contract, or the option. We opted it out. Excuse me. So what I'm saying is that Amik Robertson was just like killed. He was after him getting daggers at Jerry Jeudy, taunting and all that shit, and I'm saying he's short. He really came to play, and I was watching that game. I was like, damn, Amik is coming to play. Now, I got to say, sometimes football is all about luck, and sometimes it's not, but sometimes you get a little lucky there. Of course, Melvin Gordon was going to fumble the ball, but the beauty of it is he fumbled it right into Amik Robertson. Now, the run back was amazing by Amik. That's what I want to see. I want that run back, if you replay that. That wasn't not an easy run back. That was very good vision by Amik. So I need plays like that from the Raiders. I need playmakers, because what is still going on with the Raiders? What is still wrong with this team? Why is the offense still that bad in the red zone? Why is the defense still giving up big plays? There is still issues with this team watching the game. And going against Kansas City, we are going to get our ass whooped just like last year if we do not step it up and make good with our opportunities. Example is that Darren Waller was stopped at the goal line. I mean, as close as you can get, right on the line. And what happens? I believe it was like a penalty. No, it was actually a run play, I believe, right after that. And we lost yardage. We end up losing yardage right there on that goal line. and we do play after play, and we settle for a field goal. How many times have you heard that as a Raider fan? They're playing for 3 points. There was one instance that just absolutely baffled me. Twice. There's 2 times that baffled me. There was like a couple instances in the game where I'm just like, what are we doing? Like this is ludicrous. This is lunacy, even for the Raiders standpoint. So just saying though, goal lines are still trouble for us. We should have been up. How many times have you said this as a Raider fan? 3 touchdowns, more points on the board. There should be more points on the board, but Josh McDaniels and his crew are not calling plays to get the job done. Waller has been pathetic ever since he got his contract, and every single kind of game he has not lived up to the hype. But then also Derek Carr has not been that great either. The beauty of Derek Carr in this one is he was able to run, gain first downs, gain some yards. That's not going to happen against KC. If he plays against KC, Casey's going to swamp them. They're faster than Derek Carr. They're going to get to the quarter. I think Andy Reid is a fantastic coach. I think that team over there is well coached than what Josh McDaniels is doing with this team. Josh needs to step it up because the red zone issues is one problem. Of course, the penalties are still happening with the Raiders. This game, thinking about this game, it wasn't as bad as maybe like the Arizona game, the Chargers. The Chargers game wasn't too bad, but the penalties are still killing us. Josh McDaniels is the sole reason I'm worried about going into KC. Is because he makes boneheaded decisions. Do I think he needs to be fired? I don't think we should stay with him. I think we should be giving Sean Payton a call. I think we should have gotten Harbaugh. I really liked Harbaugh. Everybody says bring John Gruden back. They're never going to bring John Gruden back. That's over and done. John, I like some of his things he did, but then you got to remember his offense was stale with the Bears game, with the Chargers game. His offense wasn't as good either in some of those games. He just had a great mentality leading the men until all that shit came out. So with Josh McDaniels, though, I think he has a lot of these players questioning what he is doing. There is a lot of things that us as fans are questioning. Like when you have the ball and you're going and heading into overtime and you have mostly all your timeouts, yet you're wasting a lot of time with this hurry up after completion. That's the phrase, you're just playing for 3 points. You're not playing for a touchdown when you have a lot of time to play for a touchdown and to be up, especially when the Denver Broncos have the ball after the half. Watch that sequence. There is a lot of time. I mean, it reminded me of Denver in their first game, but it just wasn't at a crucial moment. Josh McDaniels easily could have called a timeout, easily could have still had time. Even if he called all his timeouts, he would have been by that red zone because we end up being by the red zone, but we just didn't have enough time to do anything at the red zone because he didn't call any timeouts. You call timeouts to save time, so if you do need time, you have the option of spiking the ball and at least give you 1 or 2 shots at the end zone if you're close enough. He did not do that. It baffles me. Me and my friend were just like, why aren't you calling a timeout? I believe he had 2. You have 2 timeouts. You have a lot of time to work the field for a touchdown. We are driving. He settled for 3. The Raiders continue to settle for 3 points. That's not going to beat the Kansas City. Kansas City is not even our biggest threat. Buffalo is one of our biggest threats. Ravens are one of our biggest threats because you know what, the Raiders can't, even though the Raiders beat the Ravens last year and the Ravens have been collapsing, what is our main problem? What happened in that Arizona game that was killing us? It's running quarterbacks. You don't think the Ravens are looking at the Raiders tape in case they do meet them in the playoffs or something? Patrick Mahomes, even though he's not the fastest guy, did you see what he did to the Buccaneers defense? And the Buccaneers defense is good. So that is my problem with Josh McDaniels, is he is making boneheaded decisions. This is not his first coaching stink. This is his second. This is his second. And somebody who has been praised being with Bill Belichick, the guy is making absolutely mind-boggling mistakes. That was a heated, that was not heated, but it was a baffling decision by him. And overall, that drive and just killing it with 3 points. You're probably saying, Dan, we won the game though. We won the game, but don't you not want to have a heart attack towards the end of the game? This is things that we need to do, and it's already been 4 weeks, and we're not doing it. At some point, you can't say we need to work on this. It needs to get done. He needs to be a man and be a leader and show the players he knows what the hell he's doing. They score on one drive. And what does he do immediately after that drive? He does an onside kick. And for the Raiders, that could have been devastating. Wilson could have absolutely took advantage with that, especially towards the end of the game on that final drive. The difference is Josh Jacobs bailed us out. Josh Jacobs was the man in this game. I don't think he's going to have another crazy-ass, 144, one touchdown type game. Did he have 2? I think he had 1. Against KC. KC is a good-ass team. If you're saying this is going to be an easy walk and like fuck those guys, like fuck the Chiefs, nah. It's never an easy walk. The Chiefs are the dog and we are the underdog. We are still not to that prime Raiders mentality that we were in the 70s. We are still below of the barrel. We have to prove to our rivals we could absolutely beat them. But with the performance still and the things that we are still doing, especially watching this Raiders and Broncos game, we're not going to have a chance if KC is on their A game. What was one of our most our weaknesses is Travis Kelce is the tight end position. I see Travis getting his yards. I see him. Andy Reid is such a fantastic play caller. You look at Andy Reid and you look at Josh McDaniels. You look at KC when they go to the red zone, you automatically think at least 90% they're going to probably score a touchdown. When you look at the Raiders, you automatically think they should score a touchdown, but they don't. Devontae Adams, great that he got a little bit more involved. I would like to see Hollins. I mean, Hollins almost caught a touchdown in the end zone, but his I believe his left foot was on the line, so it didn't count. But I like this guy. He's doing everything he needs to do to help out the team. Renfro is going to come back from the concussion. He's going to help out if Josh McDonald is smart enough at these red zones because he does have that quickness and that route running maneuvers. So if Josh McDaniels is smart, he uses Renfro and he uses Waller. You can continue to use Devontae Adams is a decoy if you can. But if you have one-on-one matchups with Devontae, you're going Devontae. Just Carr needs to put it there. Yes, Carr is not the greatest quarterback in the world, yet he's not Justin Fields. So calm down. If he gives us a chance to win, he is our best chance to win until we invest in a quarterback, which I have been saying, why haven't we invested in a quarterback for years? You could have him sit and learn from Carr. You don't have to get rid of Carr just because you picked up a quarterback in the draft. So, the Raiders. Fantastic, we got this win. It was a much-needed win. If we didn't win, I think our season would have been over. But good for us. The problem is Josh McDaniels. I still see a lot of just mistakes from not only him, but also I would say the O-line needs still to be better. But what I am happy about is that O-line, when it comes to the rush attack, they'll have a lot of confidence going to KC. It's just we got to watch out for the pass blocking because, Carr still had the scramble. He's not the scramble. He's still not the fastest man alive here. So if KC has him scrambling all night, it's going to be a long night. So we're getting, Renfro back. Waller needs to not only step up and catch the balls he's been given, but we also need plays for him too. There is a reason why we paid him all this money. And I think he's healthy. He's not hurt. Some of these guys are going to be banged up by week 4, but they're healthy enough to produce. So we need to produce. I think Devontae Adams and Carr's connection, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to get only better as we keep going. It's just, I would love for, if it's true, and McDaniels is having Carr throw one to one person or to design plays to one guy, this is a bad move. I would like Carr to actually have some freedom and just really let it rip. I think Carr has the ability to do that, but he needs to be like last year. Last year, he got way more confident as the tail end of the year. His numbers might have not shown it, but if you saw his demeanor and you saw some of the throws he made towards the end of last year, I want that Carr. I want that Carr who's a killer. He doesn't have to be a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, but he does have to not turn the ball over. He needs to get first downs when it's crucial. They need to stop going 3 and out. They need to at least have drives that are going to give the defense some breathing room, because I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Raiders defense is actually not the problem. The Raiders defense, the problem is, yes, they did give up a big play. They need to clean that up, but they need to get healthy. They're not fully healthy, and I need Chandler Jones to step up. But when it comes down to adjustments and having a chance, giving our chance for our guys to win, they're doing their job. So, of course, everybody didn't think the Raiders offense would be the problem. And it is. It is the problem. It's why we are where we're at right now and why we have to dig ourselves out of the hole. But that's not only them. That's also this new coaching regime. This is Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels absolutely needs to stop pissing around and play football. Not part football. Football. Get in the damn end zone. Kick the damn ball. Don't waste time. Stop settling for 3. Go for 7. Win the damn game. Just win, baby. I'm Daniel Martinez, and you guys have good. Or I said my name. Dan the Man. I'm Dan the Man, a.k.a. Dennis Son. And we'll see you guys, and we'll talk more Raider football. So far, it's a good win. It's a good start. Hopefully, it brings it to the Kansas City. If we win Kansas City, we're rolling, baby. We're rolling. We're going. So let's beat KC. Thank you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Have a lot of content coming your way. So new phone, new time. I guess it's new time. So all right. Bye, guys. How do you turn this off? There we go.